Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Thursday edition of FSU Weather. I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm Matt Reagan. It is good to be back here. I've been out for a couple weeks, a little sick.
Yeah, you're getting better though, so that's the good news, positive.
I'm happy to be back behind the desk, and we got a great show today because really reflecting the weather as well. The weather's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's just been picture perfect out there, getting around the community, great weather conditions overall here. So it should be nice to just go outside here even through the rest of the weekend. FSU baseball will be in action, so go out and enjoy those set of games Friday through Sunday.
Oh yeah, it'll be gorgeous. We'll be talking about the weather for the next 30 minutes here. We've got you covered. Everyone from yourself, myself, Jay, Andres, Shane. It's a full show. And of course, everyone behind the scenes. We've got Brooke and Margaret working behind the scenes today. So very busy day in terms of weather, especially in the plains.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot going on there. And with that, we're talking about some thunderstorm activity, even some snowy conditions as well, and a risk for some red flag conditions.
Yeah, red flag conditions are the big story out there. We'll be talking about that in our national as well. That's Andres, that's his jurisdiction for that one. And you touched on baseball as well. Baseball's back.
Yeah, that should be exciting. Great conditions for that. Real quick, just want to give Jake a shout out. He's doing time cues in here as well.
I'm sorry, buddy. I forgot about you. You're staring right at me. Anyway, let me get this over with. Let's get the overview. Jay, you're going to tell us something cool here.
I'm not saying more so cool, more so than anything else. It's been absolutely sunny than anything. Right now, the sun radar, you're not seeing too much to be worried about. Just a big bubble of no trouble for right now. And we take a zoomed out look for the southeast. Again, you see the high pressure system just over Savannah. So not too much to be talking about over Savannah. Just a nice clear conditions for most of the southeast. Tonight's forecast is going to be 41 degrees. Just a clear and chilly night indeed. So make sure you bring a light jacket if you have any plans for outdoors versus anything else if you get chilly like me. But for the next couple of days for the weather headlines, it's going to be just a sunny, clear Friday, a warm weekend, more like a Kodak moment weekend, and rain chances do start picking back up by Monday into Tuesday is where the bigger rain chances are. But now let's send it back to the dynamic duo at the desk with Casey and Matt.
Thank you, Jay. I guess we are the dynamic duo today. It's good to see you on the show as well. Man, I feel like I haven't been on the show in forever. I'm just so excited to finally be back on the show here. And one of the things we also wanted to touch on is a potential storm system next Monday and into Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that as it does start to develop here in the Gulf of Mexico early next week. Could even have some impacts on our weather. We're talking about some heavy rain, maybe a few strong storms even.
Yeah, and even though it's 7 days out right now, or a little under 7 days out at this point, we're still getting into the realm of seeing these amplified patterns in the atmosphere. And these amplified patterns way downstream can help us to predict where these storms are going to develop, including potential snowstorm in the Northeast. We're not going to go crazy yet calling it what it is, but just potential.
Yeah, still refining some of the model data input information outputs as well, and we'll be giving you the latest on that as it does develop Friday, Monday as well. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over for our first local forecast with Andreas.
Thank you, dynamic duo. It is currently 71 degrees here in Tallahassee, partly cloudy with a dew point of 31 degrees, humidity at 23%. The air is dry out there, folks, so you know what, the ick factor is not around today, so that's really good. Because and also with the winds out of the east-northeast at 9 miles per hour. Moving on to a broader view of the Big Bend, we can see that 68 in Monticello, 70 down in St. Mark's, 61 in Apalachicola, and 63 in Carabel. These beautiful conditions are going to persist throughout the next couple of days. So if you guys want to go out and go stargazing, I've heard down in St. Mark's, down over there by the lighthouse, you can do that very well. You can see the Milky Way galaxy, from what I hear. So please, guys, take advantage of this because it's amazing out there. It's beautiful weather. Don't stay stuck indoors. Just go outside and enjoy it. Moving on to the satellite radar view across the southeast, we can see that there's pretty much nothing going on as far as weather-wise here in the southeast area. It's just amazing. If we look off to the east over here, we can see that this old cold front way off there off the coast, that's what brought the severe weather to us a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but we had severe thunderstorm warnings a couple nights ago. But that is old news because look at us folks over here. We are clear, beautiful. It's amazing out there right now. and it's going to persist for the next couple of days. We're not going to expect anything until next Monday into next Tuesday, so take advantage of this beautiful weekend coming up ahead. But looking ahead over here, we can see that we have big blue H over here sitting right over Atlanta, and it's going to persist, it's going to meander, just sit there and bring us these beautiful conditions for the next couple of days. We might have some pop-up showers and thunderstorms that are going to be connected with the daytime heating that usually occurs, and that's really rare to say this time of year, because that's more of a summer thing. But these beautiful warm conditions are just causing these situations to arise right now. But that's going to persist for the next couple of days. But looking onto the sand, if you want to go out there and enjoy the beach, the winds are going to be out of the east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. The surf is going to be a little bit high if you want to enjoy it. Take a little boogie board or something out there and then catch those little waves. But make sure you put on some sunscreen, because the UV index can be a little high at 6. But please just make sure you just have fun. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Have fun ahead of these storms that are coming by Monday, Tuesday. But for tonight, it's going to be 41, clear night and chilly night. And the winds are going to be out of the east at 5 miles per hour. So if you're going to go out, please just put on a little jacket or something. It's going to be a little chill. But for tomorrow, it's going to be 71. It's going to be warm all day long and sunshine all day long again. And it's going to be like this the next day also. So just take advantage of all this, folks. It's beautiful out there. And what to wear? Well, wear some shades, some shorts, some tank tops and tees for the next couple of days. It's going to be amazing out there. Just please take advantage. And as you can see at the forecast, and we see on Monday and Tuesday we have that system come by, and it's going to bring our chances of rain up to about 60% on Tuesday. But for right now, I'm going to pass it off to my friend Shane. He's going to take a look at the southeast.
Thank you, Andres. And here in Florida, we're living up to the name of the Sunshine State. And all across the region, I guess we're the Sunshine Southeast, because from Little Rock, we're at 74 degrees, all the way down to 73 degrees there in Miami. A few passing clouds, but all in all, it is gorgeous out there. And it's also warming up significantly. Lots of warm air that was in the middle of the country is now moving into our region, and it's pulling the temperatures up quite significantly. Tupelo, Mississippi, up almost 20 degrees right now from the temperature yesterday at this time. And the wind speeds are really picking up as well with the high pressure over the region. That's really kicking the weather vanes into high gear. We've got 17 miles per hour sustained in Little Rock and in Shreveport, 13 miles per hour in Tupelo, 9 here in Tallahassee. So it's not as gusty here as it is in other regions across the southeast, but the wind is certainly picking up. But under blue skies, it's barely anything to worry about. Let's look at the radar, or as you could say, what radar? We haven't got any rain to talk about, and you'd be right. But we can focus on the satellite and see that from Alabama through Georgia and into the panhandle of Florida, things are clear. The high pressure over the region, our fair weather friend, is keeping the skies very clear, and we've got wall-to-wall sunshine here on the southeast. Looking ahead, though, at our airport delays, this really tells the story. There is no delays to speak of in the southeast, a whole bunch of goose eggs. So if you're traveling from one end of the southeast to the other, you've got beautiful conditions to work with this Thursday afternoon. As to what we're going to see over the next few days, well, the sunshine continues to dominate the region as the high pressure holds over the southeast through tomorrow and into the weekend. And we can see some spotty showers beginning to pop up as the warmth from the sunshine begins to kick up some of that daytime heating, a little bit of pop-up showers, but nothing much to worry about. Off to the west, we can see the next system beginning to take shape. But for the weekend, we're looking for a beautiful day in the southeast. As for tonight, 41 degrees in Tallahassee, 40 in Atlanta, 53 in Shreveport. Climbing tomorrow for a beautiful day across the southeast, from 53 in Wilmington to 73 in New Orleans. Now we're going to bring it back to Matt for the desk.
Thank you very much, Shane. One thing that I did notice on those temperature maps was really dark red colors being indicated in really parts of the plains and parts of west of here. Now that is an area that I would like to highlight on today's solo desk segment. And also maybe a little bit of Professor Matt as well, because we're going to learn a little something here with Professor Matt. But let's start just highlighting some of the record-breaking events that happened today. We had a lot of warm conditions across all the plains. We saw Kansas get up into the 90s and upper 80s in parts of Kansas and Oklahoma as well. That sounds like summer to me, and a lot of really low dew point temperatures. Now, we've talked about the dew point before on the show, and we've mentioned it a few times as the temperature at which dew forms. Now, there's something that we call the dew point depression. Now, the dew point temperature and the actual air temperature are two different things. Now, the difference between those two is the dew point depression. When that number is bigger or greater, typically you're talking about very dry conditions in the atmosphere. Now that, coupled with dead vegetation from winter, as well as very dry conditions from winter and really going off the dry season as well, you have that big dew point depression. You're talking about a lot of fire weather warnings. Now, fire weather warnings, these things we're getting into that season, that time of year where things are drying out. We have the big dew point depressions. We've got very windy conditions, and unfortunately, fires are possible. And we were seeing that picked up on satellite imagery as well across some of the plains, including Oklahoma and Texas. So that's a little Professor Matt, one little tidbit as well. Of course, we're going to talk about space when Matt has a solo desk. So if you are in Huntsville, shout out to Shane. At 6:42 tonight, you'll see the International Space Station fly over with the naked eye. So Huntsville people, Shane, you're welcome. Take a look at that one. And now we're going to send it out to Casey for another look at our local.
Thanks so much, Matt. Let's get right into what's going on across our area here on this Thursday evening. It's great weather conditions around, really is the story. 71 degrees is that temperature right now at the Tallahassee International Airport. Partly cloudy skies. Humidity not too big of a factor either, only 23%. So just go out and enjoy it across our viewing circle. And you see on Doppler, not much going on. Great weather. This beautiful, picture perfect, any adjective you want to describe it out there, from Bainbridge down to Quincy, Tallahassee, St. Mark's, everywhere here. It's just beautiful out there. Now, temperature-wise, we do see those pretty mild. We see 71 in Tallahassee, 70 St. Mark's, 69 Perry. So it is comfortable out there. Beautiful conditions as we get later into the evening hours. It'll cool down some, so you might want to have a light jacket on hand, but overall it should be nice. Now, those winds, you do see 9 miles an hour in Tallahassee, 6 in St. Mark, 6 in Perry. So a nice little breeze to make things feel great outside as well. Now, on our futurecast, we do see here for tonight, high pressure really is controlled. Warm weather is the story around here. Again, you see as we put this into motion, this will stay around here for the next few days, that high pressure in control, making for great weather around across our entire area. And Friday afternoon as well, great weather, nice conditions. And we started to see a little bit of shower activity developing here in parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, northern Alabama as well, and we'll see how that does start to evolve here as the weekend goes along early next week. Not really expecting that to have too big of an impact on our forecast, though, as again, this big H here will stay in control, high pressure, bringing those nice conditions here to our area. And later in towards Saturday, again, great weather. Now, again, we'll be watching as we get early into next week. We'll could have to potential for some stronger storms to develop as the low pressure does evolve here in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have more details on that as we do get later into the weekend, early next week on that, as it could bring us a chance for some stronger storms. Now, for tonight, we do see 41 for Tallahassee, 40 for Quincy, 42 Bainbridge. Again, beautiful weather. Franklin County, a little warmer, though. There at the coast, see 48 in Carabel, 50 in Apalachicola. So a little bit nicer conditions down there, a little light jacket for pretty much everybody else, though, here across the viewing circle. Now, tomorrow we do see 71, sunshine all day again, just beautiful, picture perfect. We have 69 in Quincy, 70 in Bainbridge. And now for that 5-day forecast, first, of course, that day planner, I'll get to that 5-day here in a second. We do see 47 in the morning. It'll be chilly, 63 at the lunch hour, 68 at 5 p.m. And now here's that extended outlook. We do see here 71 for tomorrow, 73 Saturday. That chance for moisture will be starting to increase, though, by Monday and Tuesday. Keep an eye on that as it does evolve. But right now, I'll go ahead and take it over to Andres with a look here at that national.
Thank you, Casey. Looking into the national temperatures, current conditions, 74 in Dallas. It's 70 degrees back in my hometown of Memphis. If you guys are watching over there, I'm shouting out to y'all. But 70 degrees over there right now. It's 72 in Denver, and it's 35 in Salt Lake City. Big difference from Denver to Salt Lake City. That's big temperature gradient going on right there. And it's mainly due to this cold front that's come off the west coast and has moved its way eastward. And it's brought a lot of rain and mountain snow to that area. But looking at the satellite picture, you can see that there's a warm front that's bringing also a lot of warm air from the south, and it's bringing what Professor Matt called these conditions for wildfires. And off to the west coast, you can see over here around Salt Lake, we have some snow, especially over there towards California. And up in the mountains, we have some more snow. But other than that, it's mainly valley rain as well. But over here, as you can see, it's still pretty clear in the east portion of the country. And Memphis, it's currently 15 degrees warmer at this point than it was yesterday. So that's definitely ahead of this, or beneath this warm front that's just bringing all this warm temperature from the Gulf. And as we look behind the cold front, we can see definitely the big temperature difference from this point yesterday. But moving on to the storms, we have, that's ahead of this warm front right here, we have a little bit of snow and some rain that's forming around here in Wisconsin and Minnesota. But for the most part, it's not really a big playmaker going on over here. But as we move farther west, this is where the things get interesting around here. As you can see in Salt Lake, it's currently snowing over there. Around Seattle, there's some rain and some snow up in the mountains. It's pretty much the same, painting the same picture as you go throughout the northwest part of the country. But moving on into this, what looks like a Christmas tree. It's not Christmas, guys, but it's just a lot of color out there. But you see this big red or pink region right here. That's red flag warnings. That means that conditions are, the dew points are very, very low and the winds are very, very high. And that's very, very, very conducive for wildfires. And also, if you look behind me over here, we have some small craft advisories along the coast of Florida down towards Miami, all the way up along towards Jacksonville and Savannah. That they're expecting waves about 7 to 8 feet. So if you have any family over there that like to go boating, just let them know that the waves are going to be pretty high, 7 to 8 feet. So please be careful out there. But for the most part, as you can see over here towards California, we have some winter weather warnings up in the mountains. So please, if you have any folks over there, also warn them about that. But for the next 48 hours, we can see this cold front that's going to move eastward. It's going to dip down the temperatures just a little bit, but not by much, because as you can see, as when we move on into the weekend, these warm temperatures are going to persist. Nothing's really going to change. And as we go on into the airport delays, it's 33 in New York, 67 in Las Vegas, mainly because of winds. But tonight, it's going to be 51 in Memphis, 41 in Tallahassee, and then looking into tomorrow, it's going to be 72 in Tallahassee, 69 in Memphis. But for right now, I'm going to pass it off to Jay for a solo desk.
Ah, yes. Back to my lovely solo desk once again. I always love their solo desk on Thursday shows, but that's besides the point. Anyways, we're going to talk about more about tennis, my area, a little more area expertise. The women and men both have a double header. Yes, the phrasing is kind of weird, but the women played 2 matches on Saturday, as well as the men played 2 matches as well. And also going to be a Military Appreciation Day, so that's something everyone's going to be looking forward to. The women do play Navy at 11 a.m., and the men play the Citadel at 11 a.m. The women are going to be on the side next to the chemistry building, and the men are going to be playing across from the Tully gym. So definitely go out and support your Knowles, because they'll be playing at 11 a.m. And then the women and men both play again at 5 o'clock. The women play against FAMU, and the men play against Liberty. So again, go out and enjoy, because it is going to be Military Appreciation Day. So definitely go out and support your Knowles, and especially the men versus anything else, because the men are in the top 25 nationally ranked for the NCAA and for the ITA rankings. And we have 2 Knowles, being Benjamin Locke and Michael Rinaldi, both in the top 100 for the ITA men's singles rankings. Ben is also in the top 25 for that, as well as Ben and Marco for doubles are in the top 25 as well. So again, a lot more excitement, a lot of stuff going on around tennis. I know everyone's definitely looking forward to the double header on Saturday. And this is the first time they've been playing at the same time since last season. So definitely go and support your Knowles. It'll be quite a fantastic games playing on Saturday. And the weather is going to be absolutely picture perfect. Winds east at 5-10 miles per hour. A lot more sunshine, and temperature is going to be around 73, 74 degrees for most of the day. So it's quite a warm one for the matches. But now, speaking of a match, let's get back to the match I like to call the Around Florida match with Matt.
I love the Around Florida match, especially when the weather's like this. I mean, it's gorgeous out there. We've been using adjectives like crazy on this show, adverbs, adjectives, everything to describe the weather, and we've been doing it because really we don't have anything to talk about. A couple little clouds in West Palm and Miami, but really sunny all across the entire state of Florida. The Sunshine State, it's the Sunshine State today, folks. It is definitely living up to its name. Pensacola 65, Tallahassee 71. That's what we're looking at right now. And then our satellite and radar, we've been talking about this all day. It's really, really tough to talk about high pressure and a lot of nothing. So let's talk about what high pressure is, shall we? Professor Matt, part 2. Here we go. High pressure is a lot of sinking air, and air clouds perform with rising air. And here we have a lot of sinking air, and all this sinking air is creating these really nice conditions. So that's a very simplistic form of looking at this high pressure system. And really, that's what we've been talking about, that big blue H we've been talking about this whole show. It's a lot of sinking air over our area, so really not a whole lot of lift to create those clouds and those rain showers. Maybe a couple spotty clouds down in South Florida, but really here, really not much at all. The temperature change this time yesterday, we were 3 degrees cooler. Really not much to talk about in terms of this. Just a little bit warmer. It was gorgeous out there. I went up to the roof earlier and was able to wear shorts and a t-shirt again, and it's winter. Maybe the groundhog was onto something. Let's look at the dew points. 31 here in Tallahassee right now. As we talked about earlier, the dew point depression was in the 70s. With the dew point down in 31, that's a very large difference. So very dry conditions out there, folks. But really, the ladies, the hair, they're loving it. Maybe not so much the wind. Down the state just a little bit more as we do get down there. The dew points do increase just a little bit as well. The winds coming out of the east, primarily from the east here, from the Atlantic waters, usually a little bit stronger. A little bit of a northerly component down in Nassau, but really the winds are coming off the Atlantic, causing for those rip current statements and those small craft advisories as well, especially in parts of South Florida. Let's take a look at the futurecast temperatures. Breaking it down hour by hour. Here it is, 7 p.m. We put this into motion overnight. It is going to get cold again, so don't let the warm day fool you. It's going to be cool and cold tonight. I always forget to bring a jacket, so then I leave the studio here, and it's kind of chilly outside, so I'm not really a big fan of that, but tomorrow, warming up really nicely again. Another gorgeous day. Spend your Friday outside if you can, because it's going to be a gorgeous one out there. Then once again into Saturday in the AM hours, we're talking 45 degrees Saturday night. Not as cold as what we were seeing tonight. And there'll be a slow warming trend as we move into Monday of next week when we will see that next storm system move in. Tonight's forecast for the state of Florida is sunshine and moonshine. Maybe, well, shining moon in that case. We're not talking anything different there. 40s here in Tallahassee, and then the rest of the state, we are talking really nice conditions with the shining moon that is outside. Well, I'm not going to dig myself into a hole very much more. The moon will be out bright tonight. We're going to send this one back over to Casey for a solo desk.
Thanks so much, Matt. Let's go ahead and talk now local weather history. We do see that there has been quite a bit on this day in terms of severe weather. February 18, 1960, there was a tornado that did lift and caused some damage, lowered along a path from West Panama City to Panama City, caused pretty significant damage there. 22 homes had major issues and 12 had minor issues, so pretty significant. And even one person sustained some injuries there in Bay County. Now, February 18th to February 19th of 2009, much more recent in weather history, there were tornadoes in south central Georgia that caused some pretty significant issues, along with large hail and severe wind damage. Talking specifically about Grady and Thomas County, there was an EF3 tornado there in that area. Pretty significant issues with that. One of the stronger tornadoes we've seen anywhere close to our area in a while. We just had a tornado earlier this week in EF3 in Century, Florida. That was the first one in the Panhandle in many years, and this one in South Georgia was the last one that was this close toward Tallahassee since then, since 2009, of course. Now, February 18th, February 19th also was a iconic day in terms of some damaging winds and some heavy rain in south central Georgia later on, just later in the last few years, with some wind damage. So pretty significant issues caused there. But luckily, the next couple of days, we're not expecting any severe weather whatsoever. Great weather conditions overall. It's just be beautiful outside. Go out and enjoy it. And it's a great show here today. And tomorrow, we're going to have a live report from the Seminole Golf Course. We're looking forward to that with Jake. Great weather conditions should be there to be experienced for that great report tomorrow. But right now, let's go ahead and take it over for a final local forecast here with Shane.
Thanks, Casey. That was some interesting weather history, but you're right, it's nothing like that around here today. It is gorgeous outside with a high of 71 degrees, a low of 40. It is picture perfect out there and right about average for mid to late February here in the Big Bend of Florida, where temperatures are currently ranging from the mid-60s into the mid-70s. We've got 67 in Valdosta, 68 in Meridian, a little cooler up to the north, 64 in Macon. But one thing all these cities can agree on is how beautiful it is outside. From Tallahassee to Macon over to Savannah, one thing we've all got in common is the abundant sunshine this afternoon, and I am loving it here in Florida. We are really living up to our name of the Sunshine State. The winds are currently circulating clockwise around the high pressure center, and that's why they're coming out of the north here in Albany and Macon, Tallahassee, and Valdosta. They're really circulating the air around the high pressure in a sinking motion, as Professor Matt mentioned, and that's keeping our skies beautiful across the southeast. And it's going to remain that way for our gorgeous Futurecast forecast. We've got warm conditions associated with this high because we've got the sunshine radiating down upon our heads, and it's really driving those temperatures up in the afternoon. So with the high pressure and the lack of rainfall, I guess you could say that we're going to be high and dry this weekend, and I'm going to be enjoying it outside if we can. We've got some midterms coming up next week in meteorology, so I'm going to take that studying outside on Landis-Green. I hope to see all of you out there as well. Nice conditions to follow as we've got building clouds across Texas and Louisiana heading our way, and that's a prelude to what's to come early next week. Stay tuned for the 7-day to find out what that is. But for beach and boating, tomorrow you couldn't ask for a better day with winds out of the east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. As for boating, we've got waves of 2 to 4 feet, so a moderate chop with some of those gustier winds. But the sunny skies beg people to go out on the water because it is going to be fantastic. Tonight in Tallahassee, 41 degrees will be our low, clear and a little bit chilly, so your light jacket might come in handy, as well as tomorrow morning when we wake up and it's a bit chilly once again. But then you're going to want t-shirts and shorts because we're going to get up to 71 degrees once again. Sunshine all day long. That's an FSU weather promise. It's going to be a fantastic one out there. So through the weekend, we've got sunshine Saturday and Sunday with highs in the mid to upper 70s. But then next week, things take a turn for the rainier when on Tuesday, we've got a 60% chance of rain with some possible storms coming through that'll drop our highs back off into the 60s with a chance of returning sunshine around this time next week. To round off the show, here's Matt and Casey.
Thank you, Shane. The 7-day forecast is looking good, and we are watching Monday and Tuesday for the potential for some rain here. As maybe severe weather, but we're watching possibility. We're checking the models. There could be a possibility there.
Yeah, we'll be looking at some of the different parameters here over the next few days to see how those do refine themselves in the latest model data. And as they do evolve, we'll give you the latest on that. But now let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, Matt.
Yeah, our technical director, Brooke, just brought up our 7-day forecast. And I'm glad she did because Saturday and Sunday and Friday, the next 3 days are going to be absolutely gorgeous out there. 70s, 40s at night. This South Floridian, that's winter for me.
Yeah, pretty nice conditions here for me as well. We'll be seeing, though, a chance of some rain coming in with that low pressure system that's expected to develop early next week. And that behind that will be a cool front, bringing those temperatures down. Could see lower 40s by the middle part of next week.
Yeah, and you can always follow us to check on those temperatures and check on that forecast all over social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and live stream, all.com/FSU Weather. You can watch us anytime as well, just in case you want to get more Professor Matt and the dynamic duo of Casey and the dynamic just talent everywhere, all over the FSU Weather Show. But I love live television.
Yeah, absolutely. Go back, watch old shows as well. But for now, I'm Casey Cloud.
I'm Matt Reagan. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.